tracking JOLTS, the Job Opening and Labor Turnover Survey for September 2023 here. And ultimately, the number of job openings has changed very little. And in fact, not at all. 9.6 million on the last business day of September. And then ultimately, with some of the other data and details that come into this, number of hires and total separations, little change there, 5.9 million and 5.5 million respectively. And then within separations, quits, 3.7 million, and then layoffs and discharges, you saw 1.5 million. That also a very little change here. So all in all, this continues to kind of lock in this trend that we've watched in hires and total separation rates continuing to drift lower here on the rate side of that. And just some of the context that we're seeing within this over the month, the total separations decreased in state and local government, education, non-durable goods manufacturing, but increased in federal government, where it was up by about 8,000 there, and that is on the total separations.
So you nailed those numbers, and I mean, you're just seeing this pattern of, although it was once unchanged from the prior month, just continuing to see some strength in terms of job openings. Yes, not at the peak of the year, but it shows that we still have a pretty sturdy job market. You take that also, though, I want to couch that in the context of, we had a broader picture from ADP out today on private sector payrolls showing that companies added 113,000 jobs last month. That was weaker than expected. The reading was for around 150K when we're looking at the Bloomberg survey for that. Now, the gains were across a variety of industries. I know you like to do the sector by sector breakdown, Brad.
I love sectors.
Yes, exactly. You know, we've seen gains in professional and business. Actually, I think they cut in this one. But all regions of the country added jobs except the Midwest. So you saw strength largely across the country in terms of job gains, but cooling in terms of the number of jobs added.
Yeah, and how does this pass through to the mindset of the consumer? And we saw some of that come through in the consumer confidence data that came out just yesterday here, where the conference board had noted that regarding the employment situation more broadly, slightly fewer consumers that jobs were plentiful compared to September, but the number saying jobs were hard to get also declined. So all of that, and the reason why we bring this up, of course, is that the amount of jobs that are available and the ability for a person who is part of the labor force to leave one job and then on the prospect of getting another job as well, that factors into the mindset of the consumer all in here too. And then you mentioned some of the ADP figures that we've been tracking as well, where that was an overall add of about 113,000 in this most recent month.
Right, exactly. And one interesting note I just want to point out in terms of wages. So people who stayed in their jobs saw a median pay increase of 5.7% for ADP, but those who changed jobs, they saw their wages increase by 8.4%, both though slowest pace of wage increases since 2021.
Absolutely.